Now you learned some extent, right, how to connect to different source system files. Some extent you learned. Okay, the next what we'll do is we will see how we can clean the data. So having the data is not sufficient. First of all, you need to have the data. Without data you cannot do anything. You cannot create report dashboard. But having the data is also not sufficient. Okay, the data, whatever you have it, it should be clean data. If the data is not clean, there is no point in saying that I have data, right? So you need to process the data. Okay, to process the data, we use something called Power Query Editor. You just think this is a kitchen. Now, right? So in this kitchen, we do all kind of, mash up everything. Okay, we combine all the different data sources in a single file. And then with Power Query Editor, right, it's kind of a mashup engine. Okay, you can blend all the different source system files into a single file. And also with Power Query, you can extract data from, or you can do data transformation for all the, you have a lot of flexibility here. A lot of options or features are given here in order to do the data transformation. What are the common data transformations? Most of the Power BI developer or data engineers, they do it. Be it Azure Data Factory, be it the SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service, right? So these are the common. You take any ETL tool. So what is the ETL tool? In the interest of Anuradha, okay, I'm just explaining. ETL stands for extract, transform, load. This is the term that we use it to pre-process the data. Once you pre-process the data, your data will be in more, your data will become more usable. Okay, right? Your data will be in a usable format. Only when your data is clean and usable, you can build the report. If your data is not clean, there is no point in generating the report. Even if you generate it, it will not show the accurate values. Okay, so we use this term ETL. All right, it's not a term. Okay, it's a term, and also as part of this, you need to do a lot of activities. What kind of ETL operations that we do it? Especially extract. Right? We extracted the data from using the RESTful API OData. And we extracted the data using SQL Server connector. We extracted the data from comma separated value file. Right? So extraction was done so far. We did extraction, enough extraction. Okay. The next one is the data is available, but now the situation, the data is not that clean. I shown you the sales column in my sales underscore W0 file. It was not showing the data in my visual because Power BI assigned that column as a text data type. The reason was $. It was prefixed with $, comma 27, comma 320. Just because a dollar and comma was there, right? So it considered, it assigned. Power BI got confused. Power BI thought since $, and comma was there, it assigned this column sales as a text data type. Since it's a text data, we cannot do any arithmetic operation. So we need to do some kind of transformation in order to convert this as a numeric value. That is one example for transform. Likewise, different types of activities we carry out as part of transformation. So one is cleaning, mapping null to zero. In case in your data set you have something called null is there. That means the blank record, right? The blank record. Instead of having null, you replace it 0. Okay, replace it 0. And instead of, let's say you have gender column. In the gender column, as per our company policy, we are not supposed to have male. So you need to specify M for male, and you need to specify female for F. The reason is they want to do some kind of data standardization. This is data standardization. As per the data standardization policy, you want to make sure that the data stored in gender column should be consistent, because in some location in my office, right, we operate across various locations of USA. In that case, what happens, we have offices spread across various locations. In each location, the staffs, they use different naming convention. So what they do is, in some location they say, they enter the data like male. In some location they say female, right? In some location they say M, some location they say F. In that case, what will happen is, if you want to find out the total number of male customer, total number of female customer, right, it'll consider M as different, this M is different, this male is different. It causes some kind of confusion. You are not able to get holistic view of how many number of male customers purchased. You'll get confused. So what they did, so they come up with some kind of standardization policy. As per that, what they do is, the overall organization, okay, so as per the company norm, or as per the standardization policy, all the male should get renamed as M, and all the female values should be renamed as F, so that the gender column will have consistent value in it. So that is one sort of cleaning activity that you do it as part of transformation. Next one is deduplication. What is deduplication? In case of duplicate records are there in your data set. For example, the same order, for the same order, or for the same order date, same order, it got stored more than one time. It's a duplicate. If you have duplicate values, it can lead to double counting. Why duplicates are happening? Because sometimes the data will get loaded more than one time. Sometimes the ETL jobs will be running day and night in the larger enterprises. Already they schedule a lot of ETL jobs, okay? The job 1, job 2, something like that, okay? Job 2, so all these jobs, it's all script, okay? It will keep run day and night. So what will happen is, the job 1 will load the data into the table 1, okay? While loading the data here, it will get it will fail. If this fails completely, it is fine. It loads only the partial data in this table, and then it fails. What happens is, next time when the support guy, when he gets an alert, oh, this job got failed, what he does is, he will restart this job. When he restart the job again, the entire record will get loaded once again, because it should not run the entire record, isn't it? It should start load the data from where it got failed, right? So see, the job should load only 1000 records since it got failed, right? So it got failed, but though it got failed, it loaded 500 records already. Out of the 1500 records got loaded, and this guy simply restart the job because he got the alert. So what will happen is, once again the 500 records, right, whatever already loaded, that one will get loaded, plus the remaining 500 records. 1000 plus 500, 1500 records will get loaded. The 500 records are duplicate records, right? You need to identify and remove the duplicate records. Otherwise, when you show the report, see, in this case I'm using Power BI visual, right? Look here in this case, it has to do the aggregation, summarization, aggregation. These two terms are same, which means you are adding all the values and you give the total. Since you say, let's sales, instead of saying sales or sales, what will have both of them same, okay? It will show, it will show it in two different category, and also duplicates will be there, right? So because of duplicate, this value, the total value will get spiked up. It will show you more, as though you sold more, right? In reality, you did not sell more in specific region. Because of the data load problem, it shows more, right? The values got jacked up. That's what I say. So formatting, next one is formatting issue. As I told you, this is a classic example, $27,320, right? It assigned the wrong data text. Actually, it is a decimal number. It's a numeric variable, and also it is a decimal value. but it assigns the test data. You need to identify and fix this one. And then character set conversion, you need to do it. Date time, right? And the date time also, some, the data type is not the correct data type assigned. Unit of measurement conversion also not done properly. And filtering, you need to select only the specific rows, because as part of, for your use case, you need to select only specific rows based on some business logic, not all the records. You do cleaning, you do deduplication, you do formatting, you do filtering, and you need to do some kind of splitting the column. For example, the state and country values, right? These two got combined together in my column. So let's say my column name is country, whereas if I look at the values in this column, you can see the country and state, both values stored in a single column. That's how I got the data from my application owner, right? So he says this is the best I can do. Well, if you want to clean it, you can clean it. So in that case, you need to split these values and store it in two different columns. Country value should get stored in a country column. The state value should get stored in a state column. Okay. And the next one is joining. We are not working with, in real time, in the real world, we are not working with a single file or single table. We are working with 4 tables, 5 tables, 10 tables, or 10 files. Right? Let's talk about tables, because in Power BI everything is tables, right? So in the events, you need to link all relationship between all the tables logically. Once you extract the data from the source system, you need to create the relationship between the tables. Right? Don't worry, we'll cover everything. The joining, the data model design, everything will be covered in depth. Don't worry. So the next one is derivation. You need to create a derived variable on top based on the business rule. You need to create a new column. So sometimes you need to create a new column. We call that a derived variable. Derived variable. Okay. So why derived variable? Based on the existing columns, you are going to create a new variable. See, in your raw data, you have something called quantity and price and sales amount is there, right? So you want to find out, you need to create a new column by the name of revenue. But for this, they give you some formula, or they give you some business rule or business logic based on this. For example, simple example is, or let's instead of revenue, we say profit margin. The sales price minus selling price minus the cost price is your profit margin. You just think that way. Okay. So again, you don't say, I need to subtract tax to everything in order to obtain the net profit. In simple term, you don't have a column by the name of profit when you receive the data from your application. Let's say you are a ERP software, you are having ERP, so a simple billing application, right? In the billing application, it stores the data in quantity, price, sales. That's all. It doesn't store profit, right? The billing application stores the value only in product ID, customer name, something like that, right? It is not going to store the value in profit, because it is not the scope of this application, this billing application. Once you receive the data from the billing thing, right, you need to create a new column in addition to this. But for this, you need to use some business logic. What is the business logic? Selling price minus cost price, that is my profit margin, something like that. Simple example. I have a lot of different formulas, other business logic. We'll explain it later. Next one is we do some kind of data validation. What kind of data validation? Supposing you have, you want to do some kind of data imputation for the missing values. Not all the time we are going to replace the missing values by 0. Look here, mapping null to 0. Blindly we are not going to put 0 for all the nulls. Wherever the missing values are there, we need to use some logic or use some business rule to replace this null value with some values. In order to do some kind of forecasting, right? You cannot simply reject the records which has null in it, right? So you need to do some kind of data validation. So those kind of things we will see it later. Okay. We have couple of assignments as I move forward. So probably next weekend we'll give you assignments, start work on it. Okay. These are the commonly used transformation. We do this kind of transformations before, right? First you extract the data from various source system, and then you do these kind of the transformations, cleaning, splitting, filtering, all these things you do it, and then what you do is now your data is ready, right? So your data is in the usable format. Next step is you start create the report. Okay, now what we will do is we will start with a simple one, and then we'll see the advanced transformations as we move further. So what I do is I just go to the Power BI desktop. So believe me or not, most of the time the Power BI developer or BA architect, even data scientists, they spend 60 to 65% of time in the kitchen in the sense cleaning, right? So the query editor, this is where we do it. See, in Power BI we use query editor, and there are different ETL tools are there in the market. Anyhow, I'm not going to talk those things now. Most of the time we spend in cleaning the data. Okay, probably 35% of your time only you will be spending in creating the reports and dashboards, right? Remaining time, the remaining effort you will be spending on pre-processing data and designing data model design, all the things. Okay, so now what I do is I just go ahead and show you the Power BI desktop, wherein we do some kind of cleaning or data transformation. I just close this one. I'm going to open a new Power BI desktop. As part of data transformation, we'll have to do summarization also. Okay, data summarization, group by everything. But as part of DAX also, I'll show you how to do summarization. A lot of functions are available in DAX. That is where you need my help really. Okay. I just open a file which I already used it, so that I don't have to create the calendar table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select yes, I'm going to select this one. Yes. So you can create multiple pages also. Sometimes, in most of the cases, you cannot show all the report in a single file. You will be creating, you need more pages. You can create multiple pages also. Okay. Now already I imported this file as part of this, right? The data got already imported, and I already created a calendar table, which I will discuss it later. At this moment, let us not worry about that. Now we focus on how to do the data cleaning or the transformation part. Okay, Extraction already been done. We already imported a data with a simple file. Now I am going to do some kind of data transformation. So I am going to click on this. Power Query Editor. You can see that I now currently I am in Power Query Editor. Fine. Now what I do is, look here. This is the file given my customer. Let's say you joined as a data analyst. This is the data set given to you. As per the reporting requirements given by the manager, you don't need all these columns, and especially this column is not at all required for you. So what I do is I am going to right click on it and remove. When you click on this column will get removed, and whatever the thing that you do it, right, it will get registered here. Already we did a lot of one second, I'll just lot of things I've done it. Okay, fine. So okay. I just will remove everything. Remember that in this Power Query Editor you cannot use Control Z if you want to do any undo, right? Let's say you removed some column, you want to use Control Z to undo the changes or whatever the column that you deleted, right? You cannot do it using Control Z. Using this applied steps, right, you can roll back, you can undo it. So this one takes a longer time. One second, I'll just try to I'll just save this as some other file in the interest of time. So what I'm going to do is apply later. So if you don't want this table, you can delete it from the model by clicking on this ellipse. Okay, what is ellipse? The 3 dot whatever you see it here, that is what the ellipse. When you click on this, you can see various options. I don't need this table to be part of this one. I want to remove it because already I did a lot of transformation. Okay, because I wanted to show you a demo from the scratch how to do data transformation. I am going to apply changes. What is this apply changes? Okay. Okay, I just do Discord changes. Alright, so now I just click on the transform now. This has got some other problem here. I created a function here, query. Okay, I just remove this. Good. So when I clicked on the transform icon, it took me to the Power Query editor. It's kind of my kitchen. So I can see the sales underscore W04 table here, right? So you can see it here. When I click on it, you can see the column, all the columns and the data, everything, you can see it here. So what I do is I just remove this column. I don't need it. Right click and click on remove. Behind the scene, it automatically created the M language. Okay, for us, just point and click it, right? Just click on it and remove it, right? You just selected the column and you just clicked on the remove. But how Power BI will understand our action? So with this language, okay, this language will be sent to the engine, and then the engine will understand, oh, so this needs to be removed from the memory. Okay, so whatever the changes, see, I removed the column. It in the applied steps section, it registered whatever the changes that we do it, right? Supposing you want the column back, right? You don't want that column to be deleted, mistakenly you deleted. Control Z will not work here. The one way out is you just click on this cross mark here. If you click on this, you can get back your row ID column. Look here, you got back your row ID. This is how you can undo your changes. So now I just remove this column now. I don't need this column for my data analysis. Next, what I do is I'm just checking the date columns, order date, ship date column. That's a very good question. If I click on, you cannot get back, right? So you cannot get back. You need to redo it. That's all. That's the reason why it is safe. You can take a backup also. So you might be doing hundreds of transformations. You delete the column, you change the data type. You have you have 50 columns, 60 columns are there, right? You do lot of transformations, cleaning the data, splitting the column, everything, right? So what will happen is at one time you mistakenly removed a column. You want to get it back, you are gone, right? So you need to redo it, everything from the beginning. So what you do is when you do a lot of if you apply lot of steps, right, make sure that you are taking the copy of this one. How do I do that? Just simply copy and duplicate. Simply you duplicate it, okay, on the safer side. Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, ship date, okay, order date. So this is, you can see all the columns here. Along with the column name, you can see the data type here, this icon, right? For each column name, just before this, you can see this icon ABC. So that means text data type. With this icon itself, we can understand what data type this column is. So most of the columns are text data type. Including my sales column. Okay, now what we do is we do the real transformation. So now I need to first convert this order date into a date data type. I just right click on it, change type. You have an option called change type. So these are the data types. We want to convert this as a date data type, not the decimal number or whole number. I'm going to select date here, but it is creating an error here. And then you can see here the profile, right? In this profile, this is called your profile. You can see it, column quality profile. So 63% of this column data has error in it. Why I got the error here? How do I fix that? Now I need to fix it. I need to get back my previous state of this columns values. So I'm going to revert this one. Don't do data type conversion, right? So I just look into this columns values. Once I understand the column values and once I come up with the solution, right, and then you do the type change. Look here, the first one, month, date, year, it is in US date format. Very good. Here also month, date, year is there. See, month, date, year is there. US date format, everything is fine. But unfortunately, this value has hyphen, right? The column, the value is separator, right? So this is month hyphen date hyphen 2013. But here you have used a forward slash, right? You have used forward slash here, but to separate month, date, year, you have used the forward slash, but here you have used a different separator, hyphen. The format for the order date column was not consistent. Somewhere you have used forward slash, somewhere you have used hyphen. Either I need to convert the entire value as forward slash, the entire date column separator as forward slash or hyphen. It should not be a mix of both. So what I do is I just keep the cursor here, right click on it. What I do is I'm going to use replace values. Wherever hyphen is there, value to find out hyphen, replace the hyphen by forward slash. You have advanced option also, match entire cell contents. At this moment we don't need that one. To do this one, I'm going to click on OK here. Look here, in order to replace the values, the corresponding m function was table.replace, and this is the syntax. At this moment let us not worry about, m language is a little bit difficult to understand the syntax, everything. Anyhow, I will explain you the syntax also later point in time. At this moment you understood how to do the replace, very simple one. In Excel also we do the same thing, right? But still the data type for the order date remains text. How do I convert as a date data type? So now what I do is I try to change it to date using change type. When I click on this, still I'm getting error. What I do is I revert back to the previous state, and then what I do is I click on this icon. I just come down here using locale. It will take some time. You have to have a lot of patience. Look here. So I want to convert this as a date data type, not date time. At this moment date is enough. It is by default now it shows English India, right? So now we need to specify the date format in US date for United States. I'm going to select United States, click on OK. Great. So now it got converted as a date data type. You can see the icon got changed to calendar, right? So the calendar icon, not ABC. ABC is a text data, it got created. Okay. So this is the way, this is how you need to convert the table. Okay. You might be wondering why the date is not working. It is throwing an error, right? So better you can using locale option. With that only you can, properly convert the date data type when it comes to Power BI. Okay. And ABC. Now here also I want to convert the ship date. So even in the case of ship date, we need to do the same thing. Right click on it, replace values. After this session, you have all the data file, everything with you. Practice the same thing. It's a very simple one. Replace all the hyphen by forward slash. Click on OK. Now you might be wondering why should I convert the order date and ship date to the date format? There is a reason behind it, because I need to extract month separately. I need to extract month separately and store it in a separate column by the name of month. I need to extract year separately from the order date column. I need to store it in separate column by the name of year. Similarly, the day, right? The day also I need to extract it separately, and I need to store it in separate column. The next question is, why should I extract month, year separately and store it in a different columns? If you want to perform month on month analysis, year on year analysis, sales analysis, or if you want to perform the other analysis, right? Year on year comparison, month on month comparison, quarter on quarter comparison, you need to store the quarter separately, year separately in a different column, month separately in another column, date, day, right? Everything you need to store. If you store in a different thing, you can do extensive analysis. When it comes to time-based analysis, right? You can do a lot of analysis. Fine. Now I was able to successfully convert these columns into date data type. Next, I need to create a new column. As I told you here, as part of data transformation, look here, I have written it here. It's a derived variable. I'm going to create a derived variable. Based on the existing column, I am going to derive another column. What column? Look here, I just go to the add column and I'm going to click on date. See, in this one, right? Initially, you will be posing some kind of challenge. Where should I go? How do I navigate? Where should I navigate? You will get confused, right? So, but over a period of time, you will be used to this, okay? But don't give up, okay? Look here, I'm going to click on here. But when it comes to the Power Query editor, if you see this one, what will happen is if you select year here, automatically it will extract the year from this column, and then it will replace the entire value of this order date column as year. For example, I'll show you. Anyhow, we can revert it back. So look here, I extract the year only from this one. It extracts the year correctly. Look here. Oh, okay. So it is doing it in this order date. Okay, it is doing it good job here in this version. Okay, fine. Okay, it is not doing that one. It is stored in a different column here. Okay, separately. Very good. See, that's what 2 months back, whatever the version that I used it, now it is different. See, in this version, it is storing it different, in a separate column. So they fix this one. In the previous version, when you extract the date, the year, it will overwrite the existing column. It will store the year itself. Now it is creating meaningfully in a separate column automatically. Very good. So now I want to extract month from this. Very good. It extracted a month from this one. Now if you wanted to move this column, yeah, you have move option. Okay, right, you want to move this column to towards the the extreme right. So in that case, I just click on the move and right. So now my order date column will get, it should get shifted to the extreme right. See, reorder column is generated. Now where is my order date? Order date. But still it is here only. Okay, let me do one thing. Move. Okay, to end. Sorry, to end. You need to use to end. Okay, not right. Right means from one column. Every one column it shifts. I want to move it towards the end. So order it so that I can verify whether it has done the extraction part correctly. Yes, 2012 and 2013 got extracted from this, and 2013. Very good. 2011 got extracted. Very good. So year extracted perfectly from order date to this one, and month I was able to extract it clearly. Look here, we have done this many number of transformations. Okay, if you want to go back and see what this step is, you can click on it and you can refer it here. Okay, and the formula bar, you can refer it. Okay, so we have extracted the year from this order date. That's what you can make out. You can make a wild guess with just with common sense, you can understand. Okay, Now what I do is I just keep the cursor here and I just click on it here, because this is where this is the last transformation we did it. Reordered columns, order date, okay, month, year. Similarly, I just select this one, go to add, so it's already there, and year and quarter. I want to extract quarter of year, start of quarter, end of quarter. Quarter of year I want to extract it. Quarter, week, day, everything you can extract it with this menu itself. It's so easy, isn't it? It's super easy extracting the quarter, year, month, whatever you want it, you can extract. I just show you another example. So these are called the month, year, quarter, are called your derived columns, because you derived these columns from this existing order date column. And then next one is I just select this one and go to date and the day here. So day of week, name of the day. If you want to extract the name of day, that is also possible. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday, right? Which day? This day is, right? It's a Tuesday. Fine. We have done enough transformation. Good. So next we will go to the sales column. This is the one, I know this column is supposed to be a numeric. Right click on it and replace values. I'm going to type dollar here. Replace with nothing, that means blank. Okay, if I click on OK here, it removed that one. Okay, now I just let us see if we try to convert the sales column is a it's not a whole number, it is a decimal number. It is not a fixed decimal number, hence I am going to use a decimal number. So when I converted this, right, I could see error here, because here blank values were there. Earlier blank values were there. What I do is I right click on it, replace errors. You have an option called replace errors. I am going to put 0 here and click OK. All the errors will get replaced by 0. Okay, fine. Now if you look at the icon here along with the sales column, you can see that it got perfectly converted as a decimal number, decimal value, right? It's a decimal data type. Now I'm going to the file, I'm going to select file, close and apply. So whatever the steps that I applied it, make it permanent. Okay, apply it on the memory permanently. Good. Now whatever the transformations that I applied it became permanent. Okay, so now what I do is I just click on this visual. Now we will expand this and we'll see. Now yes, I can see the summation icon just before this sales column. If I drag and drop this here, it should not take this much of time. I don't know why it takes. Yeah, took a lot because I opened many files. That's the reason why. Okay, so now what I do is I already created a calendar table. I just go ahead and select some month. I'll show you this one also. We will go step by step because I don't want to jump here and there. You will get confused. We want to see month wise, fine, or I don't want to see month wise or year wise, month wise. I just want to drag and drop the year in this axis. Look here, 2011, what is the sales? And okay, now for all the year it shows the same value. All the year it shows the same value. There's something wrong here. If I hover the cursor here, So it shows 1 million, isn't it? So 1 million, here also something like 1 million, 1 million, all the values are same. Why it is same? Troubleshooting, we need, right? So now I go to the model here. Here I did not, there is no relationship exists between these two tables. That in this table, the date is the date column has unique value in it. This is kind of a unique value, unique column. So what I need to do is I need to link this column with my order date. So you might be asking why order date, why it is not ship date. That we will discuss it later. At this moment, you just think, we need to link the tables. Only when you link the tables, it does the filtering properly. Look here, it did the filtering properly. So you need to create the relationship between tables in Power BI. It is not this is called a data model design. It is not specific to Power BI. It is a RDBMS concept. But in Power BI also, you need to make sure that you are doing the data model design perfectly. If you don't do it, the filtering will not be done perfectly on your visual. Now you understood how to do troubleshooting also. How important the data model design also with this, isn't it? If your data is not in the proper format, if you don't clean the data issue, the sales was not showing any value, we remove the dollar and we convert the decimal data type, and then we try to plot that one, but still it was not filtering it correctly. Hence you need to go to the data model design, right? So here you need to establish the relationship between these two tables. This is one side of the table and this is many side. Star is many side, this is one side, one to many. Okay. Anyhow, don't worry, data model, there is a separate session. We'll take a deep dive. Okay. We'll explain it in detail. Don't worry, in depth. Okay. Don't worry. So now you understood, why we need to do data pre-processing and why we need to do data model design. You understood, right? Before you create any report, make sure that your data is clean, and then make sure that you establish the relationship between the tables correctly, and then only you are supposed to create the report. It's already 7 p.m. I'm going to wrap up the session. In the upcoming weekend, we will circle back with the same time, and also we'll give you some assignments. Okay. So for you, the assignment is watch my video. I will share these videos. My people will share you these videos to you all, and you have all the data sets with you. Download it and start practice it by watching my video. If you get stuck up, you can watch my video, pause and play, and then practice it. Even after that, if you get any issues, you can probably send the message to me or my staff. They will get back to me. We'll try to resolve as early as possible. Okay. It's a very simple one. I think give it a try. I think you should be able to do it on your own. Any questions so far? Yeah, one question from how to get calendar table. Vanta, yes, I will discuss this later point in time. Okay, very good question. Okay, you have calendar table in your thing, but from our side we have only data file. Very good question. What I will do is I will share this PBIX file. Okay, once you develop a report in Power BI report, right? So the extension of this file is .pbix. .pbix. You remember .csv is an extension for comma separate value. What is this file name? Data transformation. Data transformation underscore part1.pbx. Okay, so this is small one. This file I will share it to you all. I'll make sure that I'll share it to you all so that we can start work on it. And this calendar is not a physical table. Okay, it's not a physical table. So look here, there is a DAX function called calendar. In this one, you need to specify two arguments. The first argument is your minimum date, maximum date. Look here, I'll show you that one also now. We'll go to the data view. and yeah, by default it's selected. So we have, in the calendar function we specified these two values. So what this calendar function did was, it generated the values, the calendar dates between 1st July to 31st December 2014 on a sequential basis. There should not be any gap. Okay. So from this we extracted the year. Look here, when I click on this one in the formula bar, year, there is a function called year. Okay. Calendar date, month number. This one, this calendar table, I created it using DAX function. Hence, you cannot see the calendar function where the transform data, right? The query editor, you cannot see this because I used DAX function to create this one. This is kind of a virtual table. This table will not be visible in your Power Query editor. Don't panic. Oh, this table is not visible. Why? Right? Don't panic. Anyhow, I'll share this file to you all. You can start work on this. But I'm going to re-import. I'm going to remove this table file, and then I will load the same sales underscore W4 file, so that you do all these transformation whatever I did it. On top, you try to do additional transformation also, right? Try to play around with this. Fine. I'll just save it, and I'll save it, and I'll send it to you all this one. Okay. Any other questions? Fine. Since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up the session now. We will circle back next weekend. All right. Thanks.